Welcome to another episode. And today we got a race recap from Dubrovnik in Croatia. I've just come back from there. It was painful. So it's going to be kind of a few things to talk about. But even more painful, I guess, is Dad has gotten surgery a week ago now.
Yeah, just under a week ago, I think. I mean, he said on I think he posted on Instagram and Facebook. He was flat out on the heavy painkillers, and he was like, "I got a new ball joint." such a technical guy.
Yeah, he only knows spare part words, but
exactly.
Yeah, like that's the spare part word for changing your hip. So he was like bone to bone in his hip. It's been worn out, so now they've cut that out and they've replaced it. So now he's in quite a lot of pain, and he's in pain when he is not at the workshop.
He's not been to the workshop since. He did say to our mechanic that always works at New Mountain, as he's called. His real name is Newberg, but we call him New Mountain. Anyway, he did say to him like, I might swing by the workshop, on Tuesday afternoon. So I think he thought, I'll be out of bed and I will be walking around and it's going to be fine. But he's been at home for a long time now. So it's like, this has been a big change for him. I'm sure like he's useful. He got it done in perfect timing just after Portugal. Now the next race is in Sweden, obviously, so he doesn't have to fly because he's not allowed to fly. So he will be able to just drive there easy, and I think he's getting quite a lot better. But I mean, to do a hip replacement is quite crazy. So,
but he is feeling good. I mean, this is all normal, just that he expected to be above normal, I guess, and back to work immediately. But it did go well, and he is recovering well. Everything is on track, and he will be feeling better. If you've been in the paddock, you will have noticed him limping for quite a while now. So it's kind of a big relief to finally have that done for him.
I'm sure you will have to have one after your crash with Backroad in 2019 and your seat got crashed in and you had pain in your hip for like half a year. I'm sure you will have to have a new hip.
Yeah, I will invoice it to Andreas.
Yeah, I think he deserves that one.
He will understand for sure.
Yeah, be like 10K, fine, I'll take it.
That's on me.
Don't worry about that.
I counted the laps wrong. I hit you. No big deal.
He's like, I still owe money for that crash. No.
Yeah.
Race recap, Dubrovnik. You have 30 seconds to give a really quick summary and then we'll deep dive into it.
We qualified P6. Not really great, struggling for pace. Got put into the qualifying race. There I actually won my race with a good start. Actually, the race time was kind of good, so it seemed like our race pace was better. But on the Sunday or the Saturday, the race day, we didn't put it all together. We had an issue with the start that put us at the back foot for the beginning of the races. We really struggled in the rough water coming behind the boats, and we were not able to get a good result. We finished P8. So
disaster.
Yeah.
Disaster is what it's called.
Yeah, that's what it's called, yeah. So obviously we are not like very disappointing coming from a bad weekend. Having to look through literally everything that we were doing, like in terms of starts, in terms of pace, in terms of everything. It's tough to lose. I guess that's what it is.
It's tough to lose. I mean, I know in practice you played around with a few settings. How was the water? Because we spoke about that quite a lot on the last one. Was it very wavy or was it quite smooth? How was the experience?
Yeah, so this is like where we get a bit more technical and what we are discussing right now. In Doha, we had fantastic pace. We looked like the top 2 strongest boats, maybe top 3, but yeah, anyway, we looked super strong in Doha and we were really on for the win, but it was flat water, like a swimming pool, like super flat. Here, it was wavier. It was a lot of traffic carrying the tourists in Dubrovnik out on the water. And those boats created waves, and we were sitting in between the mainland and an island. So those waves were kind of bouncing back and forward.
Crazy that the tourists affect the race result.
Oh, yeah.
It's just unbelievable.
It's not very sporting.
It's not very sporting, is it, to have that affecting the result?
No, but I tell you, in qualifying, when we were sitting there waiting to go out on our qualifying lap, then you could sometimes see a big tourist boat. And if you saw the driver was a bit stressed, that they were having a bit too much throttle, then they made a big wave and we had to wait for that wave to pass before we could start
Wow.
our lap. And then it kind of bunched up the whole group, like waiting for that wave to pass, and everyone wanted to go first. It is weird. It is weird. It's like having a tractor drive by in rallycross outside, and then you can't go fast because the tractor was just there.
Yeah.
It's weird.
I mean, it's just to have that. It's like it feels like you're like on. It feels like it's just a little bit of a weekend off with friends, and you drive a few boats, but then it's like millions and millions invested into it. When it's with something like that, that affects it. But I mean, yeah, in quali you didn't have a great run together, guys, and then but in the heat you had a great launch. Like that's been your strength all along. Like the launches, you have been good first, and then you looked like you were quite comfortable out front.
Yeah. Well, once we like again, the start is usually our strength. In that qualifying race, it all went to plan. I had pole. I got the start, and then the pace out front was good. Race pace and quality pace is quite different because we only have so much boost to use, and in a quali lap, obviously you use everything that you have. In a race, you have to try and balance it so you don't waste it all on one lap and having to recover on the next lap and so on. So yeah, pace looked good in the race as well. But what hit us badly was an issue we had in the start, out of our control actually, without getting too much into the details. We had bad starts for something that was not in our hands. We thought we did everything good, but we were behind. We do know the issue now, so we'll get on top of that. But that really put us back. In Marit managed an okay first group race, P3 finish, and I started in P3. But in that start, because of the issue, I came out dead last, and I had such a hard time following the other boats in the dirty water. I lost a ton of time. And once we, with the strategy, found a bit of clean water, I was able to close the gap on Rafa ahead and on Miami behind, who I was fighting with, but they still had the short lap to do. I wasn't able to close enough, so that meant that Miami passed us on the last lap doing the shortcut, and we finished P5, and that means that we get eliminated.
But it's like it's a
Yeah, but
problem that's not even your fault, and that causes you to lose a start. It's like
yeah,
that's what annoys me when it's a one make series with cars. When you're not like it's like with if Chrysler messes up with our race cars, or again if Chrysler does something with the boat, or if there's someone else in the building the boat, or Seabird or whatever they're called, that messes up something and it affects you, then it's like, but you're not allowed to touch it or manage it or anything. That's something that's really annoying when you have a one make series and
yeah,
you're just out of control. Like you can be unlucky, and we have it so many times in Extreme E where you got unlucky because there was, I don't know, a wiper flew off because you're not allowed to develop them, and
yeah,
you couldn't see, and you finished last. And you had that this time.
yeah. The issue was something to do with the official timing and the transmission to our boat, and like it was a really weird issue, and nothing to do with what we have in our hands as our tools. But yeah, it does affect the weekend, and I suppose if we were just faster in that dirty water, if I was able to stay a bit closer, then it would have been a better race. But no, it wasn't. But that's how it goes sometimes. It's really painful when you lose. It's really great when you win. But this is also part of being a racer, that you have to lose in a good way, and you have to lose in a way that makes you better next time. Like if I would go here and dig myself a hole and jump down in the hole and go there and cry, we get nowhere. So the only way forward is to dig a hole still, punch something, put that into the hole, cover that up, move on.
Yeah, move on.
And we look at our mistakes. We stay honest with ourselves. We don't make excuses. We say, like, what did we screw up? What can we do better? And in the scenario where, let's start like this, in the scenario where you win, you believe that you did everything right, everything's good, you don't need to change anything. It would be stupid to change something because we're good. But in the scenario where you lose, you have to really flip that mindset, and it suddenly becomes very easy to find faults that you've done, and you have to be open with that, and kind of take it on the chin, like, yeah, I should have done that better. I'm gonna do that better next time. So that's kind of the procedure we're in right now, looking at all the team, seeing what we can improve. Even if the same issue happens again with the start, there are still things that we could have done better to have a better result.
How are we gonna improve? And is it a good team for it? Like it's a fascinating moment if you like stand from the outside. It's just like any motorsport, for example, in F1 when they have a challenging time, like McLaren this weekend, they crash, messed up. Like it's just interesting to see how a team reacts when it's going tough, and where are
Yeah.
the strong and the weak links, and how do you move forward?
Yeah, and bouncing back from a difficult time, that's really how you that's the big challenge for a team. I guess that's what McLaren again have been doing in the past. How long is it since they were at the very bottom of the constructors championship? Like
Why
they were really
is it?
struggling.
Yeah, only like 5 years ago or something like that.
Yeah. And now they're leading the world championship. So, that's a sign of a great team. I know Zach since since the Extreme E days. He had McLaren team, but also in the first year it was Andretti United, so he owned the United part of the team. So he used to come out to the races, and like he's super positive. I can see why he has made an atmosphere there within the team that is, very high spirits, very good, like keep moving forward kind of thing. Like let's look ahead, look ahead, look ahead.
Mm,
We can do this. We can do this. And now, yeah, they're the world's best team at the moment, which
yeah.
is cool.
It's a very quick turnaround to the next race. It's only next weekend. How are you going to turn this around?
Yeah, I'm literally writing an email now. It's part of the whole thing, and we're gonna have a bunch of meetings. We're gonna get everything together. We already have a whole list of things that we want to try, but we only have so much time on the water, so we'll see which things we end up trying and not. Yeah, that's it's an interesting process.
Mm.
Obviously, I can't say everything here.
Boo.
Boo! What happens
Yeah.
here stays here. Oh,
Yeah. But what
yeah.
what is again like Rafa was very good. Aoki again was up there. What are they doing that you guys are not doing then? Why are they up there?
I don't know. They just fly better. They
Yeah, they
just
do
like
literally.
it just looks effing easy. They just fly
Effing
and go
easy.
faster.
They do. They just fly a lot better. Consistent fly.
But
They never have any big drops and like.
I've studied them so much, like uh, all the videos, and we do get like values of the boost and trim and steering and all that they do, and doesn't seem to be in that. Like we run similar boost strategy, we run similar trim, we run similar lines. Everything looks very similar, but they end up having a better stability. So maybe it's something else that's allowing them to have a boat that is a bit more forgiving to drive. That in these wavy conditions that we have here, that even though they hit a bad wave, it didn't make them fall off. And maybe that makes sense that we have a boat that is maybe a bit too aggressively set up. That's why we were fast in the flat water. But now with waves, we couldn't keep it on that knife's edge because of the waves and falling down. That's one theory. Or they're just better. That's another
Or
theory.
no, it's clear. Or they're cheating.
Yeah, but
It's either one or
it
the other.
that
Can't
that
just be
is
better. They have to cheat then.
yeah. They have to. Every winner always cheating. That's
Yeah.
like a rule. No, but that's another danger in like trying analyzing these things, because as soon as you start to mentioning that, of course, it's been on everybody's lips, that they do something, or what are they doing? The thought has crossed everyone's mind, but as soon as you start thinking that's real, then you stop working yourself. Then you're
Yeah,
like,
then
nah,
it's just a full
but
excuse. Yeah.
they're cheating, so I'm gonna do what I did. And then next race, guess what's gonna happen? We're gonna have a crap result again.
Mm.
So I don't think they're doing anything illegal. Like the boats are all the
No.
same. It could be the fact that the boats are different, just the way they're delivered to the teams. A bit like rental
Yeah.
karting. that all the cars are the same, but everybody during that day
It's a
knows
bit
that
different,
the number
especially if
8
the
was fast
foils
or
are
whatever.
so sensitive. Then, like, if they have just a centimeter of thickness on of the boat, for example, I mean, it's a big boat. If it just differs a little bit,
Yeah,
I mean, it's not when I personally went to look at it, it's not you know, the most incredible piece of engineering. It's not like a Formula One or a rocket ship. It's a one-make car. They haven't had to put in the maximum effort on all the pieces of the car, or of the boat. So for sure there is places where it differs. It's the same in like RX2 and stuff. The cars are
yeah,
cheaper
and
spec, and then there are differences.
yeah, exactly. And we can't affect the shape of the foils. We get the foils that we get. Those are on. They cost 75,000 euros. If you want to replace one. If you want to replace two, 150K. So
You
like,
can pay for that.
that's not really, that's not really what we're gonna go for. But the tolerances in when they make them in the molds and stuff, I don't think it's
Yeah,
too accurate. So for sure there will be differences. Another key area where for sure there will be differences is in the outboard, how the motor is connected to the boat. That's where all of the steering and all of the adjustments are done. Everything in front of that is static, but behind that, that's where we adjust the trim. That's where we adjust the lift and the steering and throttle and propeller, everything. And that whole outboard is not super rigid. It's moving a lot.
well, it fell off for you last time out,
Yeah,
so for sure there is a few weak spots.
yeah, but even when it's working as it should, you see, even though I chose a trim of say 1.0 degrees, we adjust in the tenth, so 1.1, 1.2, and 0.2 difference can be quite big, but by itself, you see it on. If you look down on the screen, it's kind of shaking around by half a degree.
Wow,
So like, is it shaking by half a degree for all the boats or not? Like, but this is not in our hands. We are not allowed to change the
adjust
parts
anything
as we
there
want
now.
there. So we can't. Again, that's also a risky factor right now. We
Yeah,
can't start pointing fingers at those things. We gotta point the fingers on what we can do better, because what we have in our hands. That's the only thing that we can improve. And if we start making excuses of things going wrong around us, then we stop working. And we have to keep working. That's like what we're hired for. That's why we're there, to get to the bottom of everything that we can do. It's got to be the best it can. And
yeah.
yeah, now we're like looking into what we actually can do better.
And it's still time to turn around the championship. You're 3 races in. There's 4 to go. Um, 4 to go. Yeah, 4
Yeah,
to go. So
and
you got plenty of time.
I had such a good conversation with Giuseppe, who's been on the podcast. He's my engineer in the boat. He was like, "Do you know what? We're not too far off a P4. We're P8 at the moment.
Yeah,
We're not too far off of P4. It's only 24 points. Okay, we only have 23 points, but still,
it's not bad.
it's
You
not
can
bad.
get there.
Yeah,
Well, a win is 25 or something, so I'm sure it just swings very quickly.
yeah. Like the leaders have over 100.
Yeah.
Aoki. So,
To sum it up, terrible weekend. Let's not do that again.
no.
And get back on it. And we Hansen brothers, we win stuff, or we run into each other and get off the podium. But
Yeah. Sometimes we have a little hug in the last corner. How
or
is
in
that
the, or
going? Are we still? Are we? How is that with the last corner in Portugal? Are
yeah,
we
it's
still
fine. No,
mad? Are we
no,
fine?
I think we're
Like, that
fine.
was a big talking point over in Dubrovnik in E1 now. People are like, "Oh, I
Really,
saw you run into each other," and
the people love it.
I
People
tried to
really
make
like
some
when we have
drama.
contact.
I tried to make some drama, saying that we don't agree.
No, but I'm sure we agree on some points and not on others. I
Yeah,
mean, would you ever be happy in my position that you still lost a podium and you lost a win because you did your own mistakes? So no,
yeah, no, exactly.
it's
And that's
it's,
the
it's
thing.
just
Like, we do
different
the
way.
team driving, but and we
Sometimes it
try and
doesn't
look
work
out for
out.
each other, but we can't in every situation. Always, it can't go our way.
No,
Sometimes we're at the top of the world championship there, fighting against the other best rallycross drivers.
Yeah.
Sometimes we're gonna not be perfect. This time
Yeah.
we lost a P2-3 to a P2-4. I mean, it's not the end of the world there.
I mean, I
And
don't
you
know if
lost
we
a
mentioned
P1,
it.
but
I don't know
that's
if we
on you.
mentioned it on the podcast yet, but there was some rumor kicking about after Portugal that the KMS team wouldn't line up in the world. They would just do Euro, the next one.
Yeah.
But I mean,
they're crying so bad. They're
he
like,
was
oh
still the
no.
quickest. He was the only one who was able to do a undercut or an overcut joker with like 1 lap pace, beat everyone. So, and only Christian was there all the weekend. So I mean, yeah, I think it's just weird rumor. I think they will
Yeah,
still
but they
show up.
keep they keep threatening this all the time. Like
Yeah,
it's about the 1500th time this year that they're threatening with pulling out. But they're there. Of course, you know the championship needs them. We need Johan to be there because he is the reigning world champion. So you know, of course, we to be world champion, you want to beat him. But you know, it's not at every cost. It's not like we're gonna turn around the whole EOT, the championship, the regulations, just to allow him to win easy again, so he will stop crying.
yeah. No, it's just to. I mean, I couldn't care more or less if he was there or not. So if he wants to come and race, he can. If he doesn't need to. I mean, you won the world championship when he wasn't there, and doesn't feel any less of a world championship than than if he was there. I guess it's just
Yeah,
a title is
it
a
would have
title.
still
So
it would have still felt very good to have beat him at one point though. Like I finished equal on points with him in 2021, the last combustion season,
mm,
and that's a bit pain that I didn't beat him
yeah,
that year. But okay, we move on.
we gotta move on. Topic of the maybe we should call the episode "Moving On."
Yeah, we should.
Kevin and Timmy learning to move on.
Isn't it the last episode should have be called I don't know, like, great jokes or something.
Great jokes, yeah.
Yeah, it was high quality jokes.
Yeah, it was quality time, that one. No, but I think um, Sweden would be nice, and I don't have much more to say today.
No, I'm working on Sweden. I'm trying to help Dad now that he's not super well to
Yeah,
cover a lot of things that should be done. Uh, but it seems to be all under control. Got the team together. We just stay locked in. That's when you know you have a good boss. That it also works when he's not there. Everyone knows
exactly.
what they're supposed to do.
Yeah, for sure.
But he can't stay away too long though, because then we'll
No,
struggle. But
and
yeah,
we will struggle when it comes to the time when we need to load the trailer.
yeah. Well, that's in like a week.
Yeah,
He
so
won't be
that
here
would
for
be
that.
interesting.
Let's wrap this up. Next week it's race week again in E1 in Italy, and after that we got race week in Höljes, Sweden, rallycross. It's been a good episode talking about how to move on. Was that what it said? How to move on?
She had a therapist on there. She would have been very good.
Yeah. Thank you for listening. We'll catch you again next week.